What was thought to be Xenosaga's long-lost game Pied Piper has been officially dumped online by a friendly Anon and is in the process of being translated by YouTuber VagTurtle. Pied Piper, which was previously a Japan-only mobile game, takes place 100 years before the first game and follows the life of Ziggy. But you know what's more important? This dumb little boy. Look at him. This is Plague, and this week Plague decided to run into the wall because he was scared of air. He's just an anxious boy, okay? But anyway, I decided that this week, instead of gaming news, we just talk about cats. Ta-da! April Fools, boomers! Welcome to Necro News, the show where I cover the hottest gaming news from the last week. This week I'll be covering the Nintendo Direct, Game Informer coming back, the Future Gameshow, and a lot more. So subscribe for more gaming news, yeah?
It's too hot today.
A big thank you to Boomers Dip and Frank for covering the entirety of the Future Game Show, which I didn't know was happening. It's been a long week, okay? Anyway, there were something like 50 games that was announced. I'm not going to cover all of those, but I have picked out 5 that I'm personally interested in, so let's cover them now.
With insistence, wrong, smell bad.
N.U.G.s Protocol is a first-person horror shooter where you play as a monkey with his rat friend. As the name implies, you gotta save your animal friends from an evil science lab. And also, the lab navigates for you and it's cute as fuck. But it's a horror game, so there is no way I'm playing it.
I don't know where he's from, but if you think you can stop him, you're already dead.
Kingmakers is a game that Booster wanted me to talk about. From what I understand, you're a man from the future who goes back in time to kill 1,000 knights with guns and tanks and vehicles. Yeah, this is definitely a Booster game. Hawthorne looks like a survival crafting game, but it's actually a fairy tale village builder. You create yourself as a little animal and build a farm, village, or whatever, while also dealing with a growing community of other fairy tale animals that each have their own stories and personalities. And finally, I wanted to talk about a game called N.U.G.s. You and another player solve puzzles and platform across a really cute cottagecore-like world as 2 tiny little mushroom people. It reminds me a little of Unravel 2. Also, only one person needs to own the game for co-op, so that's cool. Like I said, there were something like 50 games that were announced, so if you want a full list of games, the link will be down below. On Thursday, Nintendo did their March Direct. There were a lot of games announced again, but let's do a quick recap of everything you missed. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake had a trailer that hinted at a new character for 2. No Sleep for Kaname Date is an AI Simonian Files game that takes place between the first and second game. SMT Raido Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army is a remaster of the PS2 game Devil Summoner Raido Kuzunoha vs. the Soulless Army. Shadow Labyrinth is an edgy Metroidvania Pac-Man. Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is a remake of the game Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar. We finally got information on Metroid Prime 4, and there's a lot to unpack, but the TLDR, Samus gets red and black armor, psychic powers, and she can control her beams, and she's on a tropical planet with a big tree. We got information on Pokemon ZA, but the only thing that really stood out to me is that you can stealth attack and mug trainers at Niat. Rhythm Heaven, Tamagotchi, and Everybody's Golf all got new games. Marvel Cosmic Invasion is a Marvel beat-em-up in the style of classic games like TMNT. Tomodachi Life is finally getting a sequel called Living the Dream, where instead of everyone being in their own home, now everyone roams an island. And shockingly, the announcement of this game has more likes and retweets than even the announcement for the Switch 2. And the last bit of news from Nintendo, the Zelda movie has a release date of sometime in 2027. Who do you want them to cast? There's been a picture of Hunter Schafer going around next to a picture of Zelda, and you know what? I can kinda see it. And if they need help finding a twink to play Link, I nominate Felix from Stray Kids. Do you guys remember last year when Game Informer closed down? Well, it's back, because of NFTs. As of last Friday, the Game Informer site has been reopened with a celebratory announcement made that same day. Editor-in-Chief Matt Miller explained that not only has the Game Informer brand been purchased, but that the entire team that was working at the time of Game Informer's closure has been rehired. How do NFTs fit into all of this? Well, the company that bought Game Informer was Gunzilla Games, creator of the NFT Battle Royale game Off the Grid, and owner of the blockchain platform Guns. I imagine this is what the CEO looks like. Despite their history with NFTs, Gunzilla Games has proven to be trustworthy by insisting that Game Informer remains an independent, uninfluenced editorial outlet, keeping true to their journalistic integrity. Additionally, Game Informer will be back to physical print as well as being digitally available. That all said, if you want to support the new Game Informer, you can sign up for a Game Informer account and subscribe to them. By doing so, you'll also have access to a decade's worth of issues. Inzoi, Krafton's answer and direct rival to The Sims, is actually pretty fun. Booster attempted to make me, how do you think he did? And do you think you can make something better? But anyway, the game almost ran into some problems as their subreddit revealed that the game had Denuvo in it, despite it being an early access game. Though to be fair, that's kind of whatever, because typically a game that has Denuvo does run like shit for a while, and then 6 months to a year later, the devs end up removing it. But 24 hours after people started complaining about the program, Krafton did something honestly unheard of, and removed Denuvo completely from the early access. The director, Hyungjun Kim, or K-Jun, posted on the official Discord that they removed Denuvo after they quickly realized that this approach did not align with what players wanted. He also acknowledged that while he knows Inzoi could be more easily pirated, he understands that it's important that the game remains accessible for modding, and that he'll continue to prioritize community feedback. Despite everyone betting that Assassin's Creed Shadows will be the make or break game for Ubisoft, the company's still alive. We don't have word on just how well Shadows has done, but Ubisoft is apparently happy with its performance. Last week, a story was making the rounds that Ubisoft was seeking a third-party company to join them on a joint venture with publishing games belonging to 3 of Ubisoft's most popular IPs, that being Rainbow Six, Assassin's Creed, and Far Cry. While a lot of different companies expressed interest, Tencent won the bid, now holds a 25% stake for the price of 1.16 billion euros. A lot of corpo speak followed by the announcement, but in summary, those 3 IPs and their teams are getting a major influx of cash, and they're working through the shell company. What's not entirely clear is if the ownership of the IPs are being completely moved to the subsidiary, or if they're all known. And considering the last 2 years, job security for those teams is also unclear. This could mean we'll get more Ubisoft games on Steam, or even some back catalog stuff, but that's just a theory. But you know what is real? Big Rigs Racing is coming to Steam. Your winner! And that's it for this week's news. This week's Buried Alive Banger, a segment where we cover a game that our community doesn't think has had enough attention, is Infinity Nikki. JK, the community's going on a boycott, so not that. Moving on, here are the games coming out this week. I guess PC players are finally getting The Last of Us 2, because I assume people want to play Last of Us 2 still. And here's our schedule for next week. I'll hopefully be finishing Ender Magnolia this week, and we'll continue Silent Hills on Friday. Sunday's stream is a toss-up. And that's it for this week's Necro news. Subscribe if you like weekly gaming news, or if you just like Catgirl Ellie. And if you made it thus far into the video, post a cat in the comments, because...
Cats? I'm a kitty cat.
Obvious, I guess, you know. And if you want to be extra cool, you can become a channel member, where you'll get sneak peeks and bloopers, and other cool stuff. And that's it. Until next time everyone, good night.